Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack the stories behind the headlines, really giving you that shortcut to being properly informed. Today, we are diving headfirst into the pretty thrilling world of cricket. It can be unpredictable, can't it? And right now, all eyes seem to be on that nail-biting final test. India versus England at the Oval. India are, 75 for 2 in the second innings, leading by 52 runs at stumps, day 2. And Yashasvi Jaiswal's quick 50 of just 44 balls that really helped build that lead.
Oh, absolutely. It's been quite the display of resilience from India, hasn't it? You had Mohammad Siraj and Prasidh Krishna combining for 8 crucial wickets. That really sparked a fight back. Even Glenn McGrath, the pace legend, he's already saying Test cricket is alive and well after watching this series. It's definitely delivering drama.
Yeah, high-stakes stuff. But look, the match itself, that's just scratching the surface, really. Our mission here for this deep dive is to get beyond just the scores. We want to pull out the key nuggets, the big news, the controversies, those historic wins, and maybe even some surprising personal stories that are shaping cricket right now. We're aiming for those aha moments so you feel genuinely clued in without getting bogged down. So let's start at the Oval then. It feels like there's been more going on than just wickets falling.
Oh, absolutely. The intensity on the field, you could really feel it. It's been palpable. We saw Akash Deep, the young Indian bowler, give Ben Duckett this send-off that's been called, embarrassing, over the top. Apparently his own teammates had to sort of calm him down.
I saw that clip.
Yeah.
And then later on, things got heated again between Joe Root and Prasidh Krishna. It just shows the pressure, doesn't it, that competitive fire in these test matches.
Yeah.
But while all that's happening on the field, England have taken a pretty big hit off the field too, haven't they?
They have, yeah. And it really makes you think about team depth, adaptability. Chris Wokes, the veteran all-rounder, he's dislocated his shoulder. That rules him out of the Ashes coming up. And, he's 36. Surgery seems likely. This could genuinely be the end of his Test career. It's quite sad, actually. It's a massive blow for England. They're now facing the rest of this crucial match with only 3 frontline bowlers. That's a huge strategic problem.
A massive challenge for them, yeah. Especially in a series this tight. And the drama wasn't just the players either. Even the pitch itself came under scrutiny. I saw the criticism, but then former Indian cricketer Chetan Sharma just said, players will handle it no problem.
Mm-hmm.
What does that kind of outlook tell you about how these top players think?
Well, beyond just the pitch specifics, Chetan Sharma's comment, I think it highlights the sort of unwritten rule for elite cricketers, doesn't it? They're just expected to adapt, whatever the conditions, turn complaints into challenges. That mindset, that adaptability we mentioned, that's often the real difference maker in these big games, maybe more than the pitch itself.
Yeah.
And that intensity, that adaptability we're seeing at the Oval is kind of like a small picture of the bigger shifts happening globally in cricket. Because it's not just these test battles, the whole landscape of the game is shifting with historic wins and some really ambitious strategic moves.
You're right. It is truly global now. And speaking of historic moments, South Africa, wow. Defeating Australia by 5 wickets at Lord's. The 2025 ICC World Test Championship final, that's their first ever World Test Championship title, and their first ICC title since, 1998. Huge. Aiden Markram, man of the match. And the prize money difference, US $3.6 million for South Africa, $2.1 million for Australia. That's a serious payday.
It's absolutely massive for South African cricket. Really shows they're back at the top table. And that prize money, just underlines the growing financial stakes, the professionalization of Test cricket. And looking forward, the game's aiming for even bigger stages, isn't it? The ICC's confirmed this continental qualification system for the LA 2028 Olympics. 6 teams will qualify through that route, giving every region a pathway. That's really crucial for genuine global growth.
That definitely sounds like a game changer for cricket's reach. But what do you think are the biggest obstacles the ICC might face in making that Olympic dream work across all these different regions?
Good question. I think the main challenge will be ensuring there's fair infrastructure and development support everywhere. So it's a real competitive pathway for everyone, not just on paper,
Right.
But you can see that expansion reflected in the international calendar already. It's absolutely packed. We've got a T20I tri-series starting August 29th in Sharjah, UAE, Pakistan, Afghanistan. Then Sri Lanka's off to Zimbabwe, same time basically, August 29th to September 7th. 2 ODIs, 3 T20Is, and Harare.
That's a lot going on. And didn't India's tour of Bangladesh get moved? Originally August 2025, now pushed back to September 2026, white ball series. Plus the CPL, the Caribbean Premier League for 2025, that starts August 14th, runs till September 21st, across 6 countries. Just the sheer volume, the spread of these matches, It really shows the demand for cricket everywhere.
It really does. So, yeah, while you have player moves in the big leagues shaping teams, that same sort of energy is pushing cricket into new places. And on a really positive note, we are seeing fantastic growth in emerging cricket nations. It's great to see. Like today, August 2nd marks the first ever bilateral women's T20I series between Gibraltar and Estonia. Historic.
That's brilliant news. New nations stepping up. And another big one for emerging cricket Nepal. Their first ever bilateral T20I series against the West Indies. That's happening in Sharjah, September 27th to 30th this year. That really puts Nepal on the T20 map, doesn't it?
Absolutely. These kinds of series are vital for expanding cricket's footprint. It shows the sport isn't just about the traditional big guys, it's genuinely broadening out. And as the game grows, we also see the human side constantly evolving too.
Yeah, we've talked about the growth, but sometimes the really sticky stories are about, integrity, legends, the players themselves. Like Stuart Broad. Years after that Ashes incident, he admits he cheated.
Yeah.
And now the Aussie media are calling for him to be banned when he visits Down Under soon. What does that kind of looking back and admitting things say about integrity standards now? Especially when those old rivalries flare up.
It's a fascinating point, isn't it? It raises questions about how past actions are viewed, especially by rivals, and how long those shadows last. It feeds into that ongoing, often tricky chat about fair play and sportsmanship. And then on the admin side, you've got the ECB CEO, Richard Gould, admitting they need to figure out if the 100 is actually keeping new fans or if people are just drifting off. That's a really important bit of self-reflection for any new format, making sure it's actually doing its job.
Critical stuff for the future, definitely. And for fans following the legends, that World Championship of Legends final outcome is still pending, right? Pakistan champions versus A.B. de Villiers' team. Plus, some interesting domestic moves. Darcy Short to Gloucestershire, Ben Sanderson staying with Northants, and Vitality Blast.
Yeah, those domestic signings, they highlight the constant churn, the strategic thinking within those leagues. It's all vital for keeping teams fresh and developing players. But sometimes the stories that really hit home are the personal ones, the ones that give you a peek behind the curtain.
Totally. Like the story Yuzvendra Chahal shared recently about Virat Kohli, talking about finding Kohli crying in the bathroom after a tough moment on tour. It shows his vulnerability, doesn't it? Really challenges that superstar image. Makes you rethink what we expect from these athletes.
It absolutely does. And seeing Kohli's vulnerability, it's not just a personal anecdote, is it? It kind of shows how our whole perception of these superhuman athletes might be changing. Maybe today, showing genuine emotion, even weakness, actually builds a stronger connection with fans than pretending to be perfect ever could. It might be redefining what being a sports hero means. And speaking of things getting interesting, the IPL transfer rumor mill is buzzing again. Sanju Samson potentially moving to Chennai Super Kings for the 2026 window. Nothing official, of course, but the chat is definitely heating up.
Right. The transfer window always adds that extra layer of drama in the offseason. So as we wrap up this deep dive, looking at all these different threads, the Oval, South Africa's win, the Olympics, Broad, Kohli, what's the big picture? What does it all tell us about cricket today?
Well, stepping back and looking at all the sources, you see a cricket world that's just absolutely buzzing, full of competitive grit, historic moments, player drama, major tournaments taking shape. From the absolute peak of Test cricket right down to these new emerging frontiers, the game is constantly evolving, constantly redefining itself.
Exactly. And that mix, the fierce on-field competition side by side, with these really human, sometimes vulnerable off-field stories, it seems, to grabbing fans in totally new ways. It really leaves you thinking, doesn't it? What is known for cricket's future when that line between the intense rivalry and the personal narrative keeps getting blurrier, making the whole spectacle even more engaging?